Lifestyle, child of God. Camron versus Jim Jones. Jim Jones versus Camron. Who's in the correct and who's in the incorrect? Um, both of them are in the incorrect. Now, what I will say is that, Jimmy really don't be speaking out like that. Not like that. He do, but he don't. Jimmy don't really be, from what I've been looking on the internet, like he does a lot of social media, but he don't really be, he just really started speaking out about shit. He's been low key. People been asking him for a little while. Like this ain't his first interview. You know what I mean? And, he's been, um, he has been low key about how he feels towards Cam and Mace. Um, little things came out, but like he finally just kind of like, and I feel like maybe Jimmy is in a place where he feels like he can express himself, but he doesn't feel like he can directly talk to Cam. You know what I'm saying? Because for some reason, that connection is just it's not there, or maybe they feel like they can't reconnect. You feel what I'm saying? So, um, I had a brother that would be like, you're talking about him if you talk about him indirectly. See, a lot of the times we talk to each other about each other. We'll talk to this friend about this friend, but we actually might be closer to the friend that we're actually talking to the other friend about. We might have a closer connection to that person, but we don't feel like we can speak to that person about, the things that are troubling us. And that's what's going on with Cam and Mace. Like I've been through this situation before a couple of different times, people, especially men, like it's like, oh, why you can't just tell me that? And it's like because we'll end up in a fight or because we'll end up shooting each other. Like you talking about Cam and Jim, two powers. These are powers. You know what I'm saying? And they have leadership positions where people follow them individually, and so that could lead into some type of violence. And so it's hard to talk to your brother about how you really feel about things that are going on from your perspective. Now Cam is an individual and always has been an individual. And I like for Cam to say that because Cam does his own thing. Cam be in Ohio by himself. He be in the D. Cam travels. That's why I always liked the Cam. You know what I mean? I like Jim, but I always liked the Cam, since the older days because Cam is an individual. Like he does his own thing. You know what I mean? He don't be like consumed with having to be around folks. That's why Cam can separate himself and reacclimate himself. Um, and we've seen that. Look at his history. Like he'll do his own thing and be successful by himself. That's why he don't really be tripping because Cam used to get it in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Like Cam used to be all over this United States, man. He not one of those guys that need to have or need to be up under somebody. So shout out to Cam for that. But he's an individual. And I think when you're an individual, because I'm an individual, meaning I just do my own thing. Like I don't need to be up under people. It's cool, you know what I mean? But like I'm okay being by myself. Um, Obviously, you want people around you when you do stuff, right? Because it's a level of protection as well, like just in case some shit pop off. But like I'm an individual, so I understand where Cam is coming from. And as an individual, we don't look at things like how when people like Jim express themselves, we don't be looking at those things. And so I think Cam has a lot of like unawareness when it comes to his team, you know. Now some people might call that selfish too, right? Because Cam might exude that trait, that character trait. You know, when he's moving around, it might look like he's being selfish. You feel me? Like, but really, Cam just does his own thing. And so I think that his unawareness about how his team feels about how he moves, you know what I mean? But then again, like he doesn't also care. And I think that as individuals, those types of people, when it's perceived that you don't care, not be the case, then it hurts other people's feelings. And so Jimmy, his feelings are hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not hard to tell. We're not really saying that though in the community, right? We're not saying like, oh, you know, because that looks soft, right? So we're not saying, oh, Jimmy feelings is hurt, or maybe you know, Cam's feelings is hurt. They hurt each other's feelings. They are friends. They used to be friends. They hung out for many of years. They know each other. When you know somebody's family members, like if I know your grandmas or I know your auntie or your grandfather or your dad or your mom or your brothers or your sister, like if I know your family, I'm pretty much family. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I know your family like to where I could just go over there without you being there. So, I just think that Cam feelings is hurt that Jimmy didn't come to him because this is not the first time that Cam has spoken. See, has spoken out about Jimmy before. This ain't the first time. I remember Cam sitting at like a table. He had like a robe on and he was expressing himself. Somebody had called him and he was talking on the phone or whatever. And he was expressing himself, you know what I mean, about just like, what was going on with him and Jim. And Jimmy never and maybe he did. I stand corrected if he did, but Jimmy from my perspective, information that I have as far as like, just like social media, like I don't remember Jim really saying anything like that when Cam spoke about Jimmy before, because Cam spoke about Jimmy before, and he was way more in his feelings, in his bag. We'll say in his bag instead of saying our feelings are hurt, right? Maybe that's more masculine. But yeah, Cam was in his bag, and so he was expressing himself, and I think Jimmy always been a little upset that Cam expressed himself like that in the past. And so this is the first time we're really seeing Jim like express himself. And I think Jim, because he's an artist, because he's doing well for himself, because he's a leader, because he has confidence, because he's actually, Cam is funny because Cam was like, this and that with Mano and this and that with Mambeezy's and this and that with True Life. But if you really think about it, Jimmy is smart. Regardless of whatever happened in their past, Jimmy is bringing them together, right? Which is in a way uniting Harlem.
So low key, and Jimmy's really quiet. Like he be showing off and all that. He's cocky, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, he's the drip king, right? But like Jimmy don't really be expressing himself like that. He's like very quiet, right? Because of the, what he's whatever he does with his life, probably. But low key, he's actually trying to unite some stuff. Like he's being a leader, like by bringing people together. Because I remember when it was Jimmy, Mano, Fab, uh, uh, Dave East, um, damn, I'm trying to think. Who else did he have rocking with him? French. You know, like they was all like doing their thing, and it was like them, like they was like, everybody's a leader within that in those individual groups. As those individuals people, excuse me, they have groups under them, so they're all leaders, but all the leaders are coming together like on some like bricks or some like NATO type shit, like just global powers coming together, within New York, the powers in New York coming together, right? And so and it was all shining, you know what I mean? And I think I remember that either it was Jimmy's birthday, and this is social media, but either it was Jimmy's birthday or it was Mano's birthday or it was Fab's birthday, right? And they had like this like Asian Japanese like theme birthday party, but all those powers came to the party. The Lobby Boys, the Fabs, the Davises, the French Montanas, they was there at this party celebrating together. And I said to myself, yo, Jimmy is really in who he's supposed to be. Like he's being who he's supposed to be. He's being him, you know? And Jimmy likes community. Like 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 he said in one of his social media things, like before he drops albums, he will go just post up in the hood and sit in the hood and, meditate. And so that's the kind of person Jimmy is. And so, Cam is an individual. He could be in any hood across the nation. You know what I mean? He gonna link up. He gonna establish a family. He gonna establish a group, and they're gonna make moves. We know that. Jimmy is more of a more of a community person. Like he wants people around. So there's very different dynamics in their character, and I just think that they're both wrong, but I just think that um, their feelings are hurt. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna say that as men, right? We're not gonna say, "Oh, my feelings is hurt." You know what I mean? That's what women would do with each other, right? But like men get their feelings hurt too, and that's just a fact. And I think on social media, the problem really is like we really love divisiveness, and that's why you see these channels and these shows, right, that promote divisiveness, um, and meaning not unity. These channels are doing very, very well. These channels are doing well because they're promoting divisiveness, and people low key feed off of that, right? People low key want to pick a side, whether it be the underdog or whether it be the top dog. People really do want to pick a side. They want to vote who they think is right. They want to hear the drama. They want to hear the sides of things instead of like getting to the healing. And I'm all about healing. I'm all about getting to the healing, as you know. And so I'm so far ahead of folks. People don't really understand. Like, my channel is about how we treat each other and the things that I went through, and I'm expressing myself because I'm in a place where I'm comfortable to express myself, even if other folks are not. And it may offend them because, what, people don't want you to talk. People don't want you to talk about those things because they may know that they're wrong. Or maybe they just want a level of privacy. You know, who knows? Everybody's different. But I was just at that level, and I knew that, shadow work has to be done, and shadow work just means that those things that live under a rock in your spirit, those things that haunt you, those things that you think about but you push to the back of your mind and stuff like that, right? And so people are catching up to me now because people are speaking about how they feel about situations. And that's part of the solution. We have to start speaking about how we feel about certain situations so that we all can gain those perspectives, so that we all can move forward. We hold each other back, and we're going to get in trouble for it. See, people want to be like, "Oh, you don't owe nobody nothing." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We all owe each other because we're a community, whether we like it or not. People want to be like, "You're not the victim," but low key, although you may not feel like a victim, or in certain aspects, certain things happen to you that hurt your feelings, you become a victim low key. And it's not like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a super victim. It's more like, something did happen to me. I choose, some people say, oh, I choose not to be a victim, or I choose not to claim that victimhood. But depending on how you look at the definition, you could be like, something happened to me, right? Okay. So it's good to express those things, that something happened to you, and that's what Jimmy did. These things happened. These things that I didn't get credit for, that I didn't get acknowledgement for. And that's what I'm hearing from Jimmy. I didn't get credit for it. I didn't get acknowledgement for it. Nobody invited me to the table. Nobody wanted to let me lead, And I think Cam being the leader always, those figures that have always been the leader, they tend to always want to be the leader, even though that they trained good soldiers so well that the soldiers become leaders. But it has to be that way, because that's how the things carry on, from down the lines and throughout generations. Like, eventually the soldier becomes a leader. Eventually the soldier leads, and eventually the leader, either follows or retires or goes and does their own thing, which Cam, like I said, Cam does his own thing. We all know that. Beside even Mace, like, yeah, he's back with Mace and they're doing their thing. That's a childhood friendship, that's nostalgic for them. And more power to them. And Jimmy not really getting in the way of that. Like he said, more power to them. It's possible Jimmy feel a certain kind of way, but how does Jewels feel? You know what I mean? How does Freaky's feel? You feel what I'm saying? Like, how does everybody feel about that? So, this is actually good. They're both wrong, because they're trying to low-key sting each other. I won't say stab, but they're low-key trying to sting each other. That little tick for tat type deal, sting you, I want you to feel this, sting you type thing, you know what I mean? So I just think that this is a part of the process. And in order for them to really get the healing that they need, because I'm praying that they dap each other up in the end and start really hanging out together, and all the hip hop heads start hanging out with each other and start really coming into unity. Because remember, these folks, I'm speaking on the Manos, the Jimmys, the Cams, the Frenches, the Davises, the Fabs. All these people are from different parts of New York coming together, shining together, being litty together. I just think that that's great, and it's good for hip hop. I love that. It makes me want to go listen to all their collaborative efforts together. It makes me want to invest in whatever the projects they do together. But I don't, but it's good to also be individuals, like, because you can't be up under each other all the time, right? And Dipset is just one of those nostalgic groups that we grew up with, that we fell in love with, that came out of Rockefeller, you know what I mean? And they just kind of had their wave after Rockefeller, and it was a long wave, you know. And I think Cam, we all have to give Cam credit, and I think we all do give Cam credit. Cam did a lot. He put everybody on. He led. He maneuvered. He showed how. He did not hold back information. And see, that's one thing that I really, 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 really admire about Camron. Is he not one of those dudes that's holding back information? Don't you hate it when people are doing regular speed, right? They want to drive next to you. This is my second pet peeve in driving. When people drive next to you, right, but you about to get over because they're not like accelerating in that lane, and you want to get over in that lane, and so they start accelerating because you get over and they know that you want to get over, but they just don't want you in front of them. But they wasn't making the moves to stay in that lane anyways, because that's the fast lane. Pet peeve. But anyways, yeah. So back to Jimmy and Cam. I just think that they're gonna work this out. I think that Jimmy's doing a good job by, expressing himself, but letting Cam and Mace do their thing, their nostalgic relationship. We all like it is what it is. We all look forward to seeing Stat. We all look forward to seeing Mace. We all look forward to seeing Cam. We definitely look forward to Cam and Mace because they got different antics, and they kind of bounce off each other. And sometimes they be beefing on the show. They not perfect. Sometimes they low key be trying to sting each other on the show. We see that shit. But that's the enrichment of the show, right? And that's why we continue to watch it, because it's real. It's authentic. And we like to see real authenticness when it comes to relationships, because those are the things that we deal with every day, right? Look at Young Miami and I forgot her homegirl's name, the City Girls, right? They're not necessarily beefing. They're both doing their thing, but they accomplished a good mission. I mean, maybe they're not doing music together. Maybe their music wasn't the best. I like some of their music. No, not a lot of it, but some of it. But I think the fact of the matter is like they accomplished a big goal. Young Miami is doing her thing. I pray for a husband for her, somebody that can tame her heart. You know what I mean, and really understand her, to really give her new perspectives in life, because she's got more to do in life than just turn up and look pretty. Um, her friend, that's still her friend. They might not be super connected, but her friend. She got with uh, Lil Uzi, and she a made woman. Lil Uzi takes very good care of that young lady. You know what I mean? She's a made woman. She's comfortable. She doesn't have to do a lot. Little Uzi takes very good care of her. You know what I'm saying? And she not playing about her man. She gonna motherfucking make sure she keep her little Uzi. You know what I'm saying? I think their relationship is very unique. So, but I'm praying for those folks that they get together and hash things out, because it is correct. We get into our bag. We get elevated, and we get lowered, and we get humbled, and we get cocky, and it's just humans. Shout out to humans, and mastering human nature, but shout out to Cam, and shout out to Jim, and I'm really proud of Jim, by the way. Like, I want to let Jimmy know, like, I acknowledge, one of your fans. I acknowledge your accomplishments and everything that should be accredited to you. I acknowledge it. You're doing your thing, and you're continuous doing your thing. And you want to know what, Jimmy? I want to let you know as well that your rap game has really, really, really gotten so much better over the time that you started rapping. You know what I mean? Like you be saying some shit, and I'd be like, oh yeah, like Jimmy really has, and he's got flows and all that. I really like that album that you did with Young Berg. What his name is not Young Berg though. That's his rap name. He's the Heat Maker. I think he's the Heat Maker. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he makes beats now. But I like that album that you did. Like, you know. So, I always want people to keep expressing themselves artistically. But, I just wanted to let Jimmy know, not that I'm anybody, but I just wanted to let Jimmy know, like, Jimmy, you doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. And just keep being individual. And, you know, less hate, more love type shit. You know what I mean? Keep being a player. Keep being a player. Keep your pinky up. You know what I'm saying? When you taking that shot, keep your pinky up. You know what I'm saying? Um, and just continue to mind your business. Like, I think that's another thing too. Like, people keep trying to force other people's business on other people, and it's like, I'm gonna just mind my business, man. You know what I mean? And I think that, when it comes to 50, 50 is 50. We know who 50 is. We know what to expect from 50. And, 50, he moves solo, and, he makes sure that he positions himself in positions of power, because, that's what 50 really wants. It's the power. He wants to make sure that nobody can ever hurt him. And so he takes that Jewish mentality of, I gotta hurt so that other people can't ever hurt me again, right? Because, in the Jewish community, they went through the Holocaust. And so Jewish people never want that ever to happen to them again. So they're gonna attack. They're gonna attack. You know what I mean? They're gonna attack. And that's why we see what's going on in the Middle East, because, you know, they never want to be attacked again. They never want to go through that Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to go through that. Facts. So, shout out to Jimmy again. I'm giving you your just due, brother. And I hope that Cam acknowledges you if that's something that you're looking for. Because when I heard the interview, I really felt like I said, my brother hurt. My brother hurt, man. So, and Cam probably hurt, but like I said, individuals, they be hurt, but they do their thing so much on their own tip. Like, they be on their own thing. Like, he probably doesn't look at it like that. He probably looks at it like, oh, but it's more or less like maybe he should be a little bit more aware. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't have to go pick that team back up. Like, Cam is individual. He's gonna grow and do his own different things. And I think that that's why we like Cam as well. Like, we've liked the evolution of Cam and who he's become and what he's done and how he's made his moves, and we like that. So that's my spill on the Camron and the Jimmy thing. I pray for those folks. I pray that God brings healing to both of those gentlemen, but that he brings unity amongst them eventually, because we just grow old. We start out young, but we grow old, and eventually we all must leave. You know what I'm saying? So, could you imagine, like, if one of them, God forbid, passed on, and either Cam or Jimmy, like, the other one would really be in their bag. You know what I'm saying? And they would have hoped that they could have had made a resolution and been at peace with each other, versus, like, what they're going through now, right? Because You know, when people pass away, it's like, damn, I could have did this, I could have did that. Like, I should have did this, I should have did that, but the shoulda, woulda, couldas. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm really praying that, my prayer for them would be that, God, bring unity amongst them when the time is right. Allow them to keep expressing themselves. Allow no violence to come in between. Allow people to mind their business, right? Let them beef if they gonna beef, and I don't mean that in a violent way. I just mean like let them figure themselves out, and let them come together. Cause like Cam and Mace wasn't messing with each other for a long time. Did we forget? For a long time, Cam and Mace was not, they wasn't vibing. And so we're happy that they finally came together. So, the same thing with Jim and Cam. Like eventually they'll come back together and maybe they'll do a show together. You know what I'm saying? Maybe maybe eventually they'll have a show together. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe Jimmy will do his own show and find his own purpose or something like that. You know. But both of these gentlemen have accomplished a lot, and they have financial security with which a lot of us men are still working towards, even at their ages. You know what I'm saying? So I think they really should like let this be bygones and just keep doing your own individual things. And when y'all see each other, smile and reminisce and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Jim and shout out to Cam. I wish them nothing but the best. And I'm praying for y'all, man. I'm hoping that the Lord really brings y'all in union again, just like Cam and Mace got brought into union again eventually. You know what I mean? So let me look at some of these comments quickly here. Okay. No, I can't do no swear words for $10 donations. I'm okay, bro. I'm okay on that. But if you want to send a $10 donation, thanks. Lifestyle Child of God is the Cash App. But I'm not doing no cuss words, though. No cuss words. And if I do, just know that, pray for me. Capo is Harlem. I like him, but Capo is more lit in music. And that's what I'm saying. Shout out to Dean Williams, if you're still on here. That's what I'm saying. Like Jimmy is really. That's why I had to give Jimmy his flowers, because Jimmy been doing this thing, and maybe a little bit, Cam and maybe a little bit Mace are a little bit jelly. Maybe they a little sodium chloride. Maybe they're a little bit sodium chloride because Jimmy is really doing his thing in music. Shout out to Dean Williams for that comment, because okay, Mark says Jimmy a bitter jealous of Camron and Mace rap career success. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with Mark. I can understand where you're coming from, though. I definitely understand the position, but I don't necessarily agree, and here's the reason why. Jimmy, like Dean Williams was saying, Jimmy is successful on his own. At the time, yes, like Cam and Mace had, they're coming up in the 90s and rapping. Like when you made it as a rap artist in the 90s, like your success always seemed bigger than like maybe like cats now, right? It was more in a legendary status when you came up in those eras, because you had to really rap. And Jimmy wasn't rapping then, obviously. Like, and he definitely wasn't even rapping like that. If he was rapping, he wasn't rapping like that. And Cam be rapping his ass off when he does rap. He used to say some like shit that we used to be like, what? You know what I mean? And like Mace, well, Mace is he's like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's like the Fresh Prince. Like you just gotta love Mace. He's got that face. You just want to grab his chin and shake his face. You know what I mean? I think that's some Italian shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some Spanish shit too. Like you just grab. It's like, Mace is our son. You know what I mean? Mace is like mijo. You know what I'm saying? And you grab his face and you shake it like, oh, it's my son. You know what I mean? So, Mace, Mace is on that legendary status, but you know, I mean, I like Mace's flow. And I like what he did, but like Mace's career was good when it was good, but it's not like extensive. It was good when it was good, but I'm not. I can definitely confidently say like I don't sit here. I'm not like listening to Mace. Like I don't. When it comes on, you know what I'm saying. When Mace is on, like the radio or it's in a mix or something. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like I'm not popping in Mace to listen to Mace. I'm not doing that. Now I'm definitely listening to Cam. Not as often as I like to, but I listen to Cam, Purple Haze, Diplomatic Immunities. I'm listening to Cam. Uh, Damn, that first album when he was with Rockefeller that he had when he's holding his son. I forgot the name. I'm listening to that. His album to that movie he did. What's the movie Cam did, everybody? You can't be Dipset without Jim. Thank you, Mike Larry. Like you can't do that. But what's that movie Cam had when Dipset was at their height and Cam did his like movie and he had an album with the movie. Like I'm listening to that album. So I'm listening to Cam. I'm listening to Jim. I don't listen to Jim as often because Jim's cadence is not my favorite cadence to listen to. First of all, I listen to a lot of like hip hop, R&B, EDM mixes and stuff like that. So I listen to a lot of music without words. I'm not really listening to a lot of like rap music no more. But when I want to rap, meaning like when I'm not writing songs to inspire people, or to connect with people, like on like how Pac used to do, right? He used to write songs to connect with people, and I think that's why we like Kendrick, because he's writing songs that make sense to us. It connects, is making a connection, right, to our everyday lives. So when I'm not writing songs like that, and I'm like rapping, yeah, I'm gonna listen to some rap music first. Like I'm gonna get motivated. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go and listen to Fab. Probably I'm gonna go listen to Fab first. Fab is probably one of my top 3 artists that I listen to. Like I love to listen to Fab. I'm listening to Cam or Jim. I'm listening to Big. I'm listening to Pac. I'm listening to Ice Cube. I'm listening to Ice-T. I'm listening to, just all the legends. I'm listening to all of them. Like it just depends on the mood or the type of song that I'm developing. I'm gonna go listen to L when I'm writing songs about women. I'm going to listen to L. You know what I mean? Because L is the progenitor of that. Like, the ladies' man, the writing the songs when it comes to like women. Like, yo, L did that. You know what I mean? And you gotta give L his credit. Like, I'm gonna go listen to like LL and Anne-Marie, or I'm gonna go listen to LL and Boys to Men. You know what I mean? So that's when I'm putting my music inspiration together on how I like to put music together to give to my audience, which that's what I really want to do with myself. I mean, I say that and I just really don't spend enough time on it, but like I think God is about to make sure that I do this. But anyways, that's off topic. But yeah, I'm listening to that. So yeah, I'm listening to Jimmy for sure, because he's really, to me, proved himself as an artist. You know what I mean? He really has. Like he's developed himself a lot over the years, and his bars have gotten better. His music has gotten better. You know what I mean? So shouts out again to Jimmy. And maybe Cam and Mace might be a little jelly that Jimmy's doing his thing musically. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that he does or he doesn't. But I'm proud of Jimmy. So I just wanted to say that. But again, I'm not really listening to Mace no more. Like I said, if it's in the mix on the radio or something, listen to radio, which I don't listen to radio often at all. But if it's in a mix or something, I'm gonna turn it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna turn it up. But like Joe Buttons, I'm not listening to Joey. I'm not listening to Joey, and that's nothing against Joey. He's just not my style. So I'm not listening to him. I'm not a battle rapper. I wouldn't even try to battle rap because that's not something I'm good at when it comes to writing music. I'm a writer. I'm gonna write songs. I'm more of like I'm gonna connect with you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna write girl songs for girls, like, cause I'm a guy and I like women. So I'm like, I'm trying to get her attention. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? So I might even sing on a song. You know what I mean? Because that's how she make me feel. Like, like, like my desire for her so bad that I just had to get up and harmonize some notes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, baby. But um, I'm not really checking for Mace. So maybe Mace is. But when I heard Mace's response, Mace took the same position I'm taking now. Like, I'm praying for them, and I'm hoping for better for them. You know what I'm saying? And eventually they will come back together. I believe so. Um, but I think Jimmy is one of those guys that, as he develops on his own, a lot of people didn't really want to see it. But now they're seeing, as he does his own thing and just does his own thing and doesn't worry about nobody else. Thank you, Lord. Keep talking to me, Lord. As I speak, I'm hearing the Lord also talk to myself. But as he does his own thing, I think a lot of the other leaders are like, Jimmy's a leader. We got to let him shine. We got to give him his credit. You know what I mean? So I'm not on Jimmy's side. I'm not on Cam's side. But I do understand the different dynamics. And I want them to do their own thing. And Dipset did its thing. Now we gotta let people be themselves. I'm looking for Santana to do his own thing, and he is. He's still kind of in that Dipset mode, but I'm looking for him to like create his own thing. He's got his weed company. Shout out to him for his having his weed. But the best thing that I like about groups, all the different rap groups and stuff, I like that I like that to see their growth individually on their own, and that they all be successful on their own outside of them being a group. I like that. I like that. That's why and I think that's why when we look at this, we like, man, we pick sides, some of us, but we really like, we really, I think all really want better for them because we watch them grow up and we see them still being successful. So, I really am looking for Santana to tap in and do what not only Jimmy, but also Cam and Mace have said, be the next Hove. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really looking for Santana to really do that. I never thought that about him. But for Cam and Jim to really like acknowledge him in that manner, I'm like, okay, well, where the fuck is Santana at? Because I want to see that. I want to see the Hova side of Santana, like really put out a body of work that is gonna win me over and really say like, yo, I didn't know that. I didn't know he had it in him. I didn't know he had it in him. But I'm also looking to see Santana do something like storyline. In order to be better than Hove, you gotta have storyline. Hove has a storyline in every album. It's like a story. Like Hove still ain't leave. Hove didn't leave the blueprint. The 90s gave us the blueprint. When you put an album out, it has to have a storyline to it. It's gotta have plot and climax and decline and texture. You know what I mean? It's gotta have those interludes. You know what I mean? It's gotta have a storyline to it. That's what makes a good album. When there's a storyline to it, and you're not just putting all this music out, although it sonically goes back to back, you can listen to it, right? But it ain't got no storyline, and that's why the legends are the legends, because they know the blueprint. You need a storyline to have an album. That's why we follow it, because all the songs, it's like reading a book, but it's in verbal form, right? These are chapters within the storyline. It's like watching a movie, but verbally, like we're listening to it. So, as a matter of fact, I'm motivated now. I'm about to throw some music on, smoke a J. Are you feeling me out there? But anyways, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the people that stayed watching. Shout out to the chat. I'm glad that we had some good dialogue about this and that we agree. Again, if you want to send a donation, Cash App is Lifestyle Child of God $. And I appreciate you all. I'm thankful to you all. Um, Lifestyle here, Child of God. Peace.